And yesterday when we got off of the air, I shared an iPhone trick with Tricia and JB that I thought everybody knew. And you guys were so interested in it and so like, now, how do you do that? How do you do it?
Yeah, you caught me by surprise. I'm dying to...
Right, and then Tricia told me, Sandy, it's really sexy when you're techie. I'm like,
super attracted to you right now.
Problem solving.
It's a thing you can do now. What you have to do first is have your home address and your work address stored in your contact. You know, when you share a contact from your phone with someone, it's got your number, email, home address, work address, all that kind of stuff. Well, what you can do is just ask Siri to remind you to do whatever when you get to work. So you can say, hey, Siri, when I get to work, remind me to check the mail. And my phone's doing it right now. It says I added check the mail. So you leave your house, and then when you get to that address that you have in your phone, the message pops up when you walk in the door to the office.
It's all location-based reminders.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. But you have to you have to establish what that location is in your contact.
Right. Like I would say, hey, Siri, remind me when I get home to compliment my wife's hair color that she had done around between 1 and 6 p.m.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But then as soon as it sees your phone is home, it sends you the reminder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's cool.
It cracks me up how, my iPhone's always trying to figure out where I'm going.
Yes. Yeah.
As soon as you get in the car, it's like, 10 minutes to Joe's Coffee. Like, I'm not going to Joe's Coffee.
Not today.
I love that, though. And then and a lot of people do it. Tricia does it all the time, is like, how long does it take to get from here to there? Like from the Arboretum to Oak Hill, how long is it going to take me? And then you got to figure, well, that's now. Tomorrow is going to be Saturday, so traffic won't be as bad. You know what I mean?
I use the maps or the GPS, not because I don't know how to get where I'm going, but because it calculates in the time, like if there's traffic or something. So if I'm leaving, in 20 minutes, I'll put it in the maps then to see how long it takes to get there.
Oh, right. Like, I think you're talking about the same thing I'm thinking of. I know this is a Google Maps thing. I don't know if the Apple one on your phone does it, but you can plug in the time of day you're making that trip and it will estimate it. Did you know that?
Like in advance?
Yes.
Wow.
So if I've got an appointment, say I live in South Austin, I've got an appointment at the Domain tomorrow at 1:00, I can go into Google Maps and plug in that time that I need to be there. And it'll estimate it based on averages, which comes in handy.
It definitely comes in handy, but the day of, you should check it again with maps because if there's a wreck, say on Mopac, it might give you an alternate route to go that might take longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy technology.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good one. That's a good hack because I'm bad about just that little reminder feature in the phone. I don't know why. I don't use it like I should.
I use it all the time. Like I had to go to HEB Pharmacy, so I just told it, when I leave the house, remind me to go to HEB Pharmacy and get my stuff.
Oh, God, I do that all the time. I'll leave and I'll be like, I need to go here when I'm out and about, and then I totally forget. That drives me crazy.
That's a good trick.
You got it. No charge for that, friends. No charge at all. Other interesting stuff to know, that Austin is no longer the most expensive city in Texas to live in. We dropped down to number 2. Dallas is the number 1 most expensive city to live in Texas. And I got to say, Dallas wouldn't want it any other way.
Dallas is back on top.
Dallas would borrow money to be worth more than Austin.
To be more expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dallas would want it that way.
Yeah, there's some sort of Highland Park HOA put out a memo that everyone needs to add 300 square feet to get the values up over Terrytown, Austin.
I think that the wealth in Dallas overall, just looking around, my own observations, the wealth in Dallas seems to dwarf the wealth in Austin.
There's more generational wealth in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of old money. We got a lot of new money.
Yeah,
in Austin, but Dallas is old money.
It's just got such a richer history. Like, Tricia, you probably remember, like when you went to Texas State out of school, coming from Austin, like everybody came from Dallas, Houston to go to school. Like the same thing when I was going to Texas, and then when they graduated, they all left and went back to Dallas, Houston.
Right.
Because
What's
that's
that?
where the jobs were. And or if they went to go and work in the family business. Again, generational wealth.
That was back when Austin was just a college town. You
There
know
were no
what I mean?
jobs here.
There were not that many jobs. And so you would come here, get your schooling, as my grandma would say, and then you went back to wherever you were going to go or wherever your job was.
Same
You know
thing as San Marcos. There weren't jobs there. You went, you got school. You did your time in school and left. Lubbock, same thing, right? Why would you stay in Lubbock?
Graduate from Texas State and go work at the outlet mall.
Right?
Hey, but you know what, JB? You just mentioned a part of Texas that people don't think of when they think of a whole lot of money, like really big money. Midland, Texas.
oil,
yeah,
oil and
Big,
gas.
big,
It's
big
definitely
money.
the haves and the have-nots.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think Midland, Texas, but all that oil and gas money.
And land.
That was a funny scene in Landman when the attorney showed up from New York or wherever, and they gave her a rental car, and it was a badass Mercedes sedan. And she went back to the counter and she goes, "Can I have something that won't stand out so much?" And the agent goes, "Oh, ma'am, I've got you in a LS 440 Mercedes. That's not going to stand out in Midland."
Right.
Like a $200,000 Mercedes.
1031austin.com.
This is the JB and Sandy Show on Austin's 80 station, 103.1, streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Got a buddy of mine that got a daughter in her 20s, in her mid 20s. Yeah, we're not quite mid 20s. Beautiful girl. And he and I have become friends, and we're kind of walking and workout partners. We started lifting weights, JB. How's your gym work going? I know you were going back to the gym too.
That's been slow because I've been on the bike a lot. But I'm going today. I'm going later today. So we'll see. I'm trying to mix it up. I'm trying to find a balance.
That's what I'm doing too, because I've been walking so much, for like 6 months, walking about 4.5 miles, 6 days a week. And I was like, I got to do something else. I got to lift some weights. Everything I read is that as you get older, you got to maintain some muscle mass. Otherwise, you just get weak. I don't want
Everything
to be weak.
you read, I feel like I told you that constantly about needing to lift weights.
But you
Yeah,
don't
my
know.
wife
Is it
brings
'cause
it
it
up all
was
the
me?
time. She's concerned about my bone density.
I
Yes.
know.
Oh, yeah. Tricia told me about
Yeah.
my bone density too. Yeah.
Dude, your bone density, and you can't fix that unless you lift. I just find it amazing that for 5 months, I'm all, you need to lift too. And you're like, all these things I've been reading lately. You just ignore me when I talk, don't you?
Well, I mean, if I said, Trisha's been telling me that I need to lift weights. Well, you don't have any credibility.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do it.
You're not in Outdoor Life magazine or
Let me
anything.
ask you guys this. What were your parents doing in their mid-50s?
Smoking and drinking.
Yeah, drinking. We're lifting things.
Kidding me?
Any kind of regular exercise?
No.
I
No.
remember my mom sitting in the middle of the living room floor, legs like crisscross applesauce, with a broom on her shoulders and just twisting. Like that was what they told her would make her waist smaller. Just sitting there and just twisting
Hey,
with a broom for
we
so long.
We had one of the things, I don't know what it's called, but it was a machine. You stood on the machine and there was this big belt that came around and you put
Yeah.
it around your back and you turned it on. It just shook everything.
Shook your fat off of you.
Do you remember those?
Yeah.
We had one.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. It was weird. It was like the laziest way to exercise in the world, I think. But
Right.
to answer-
Maybe it gave your mom that extra special feeling.
Did it make her feel funny?
Maybe it did. There was something, Tricia, wasn't there some exercise you were doing that gave you an extra funny feeling on a
No.
Bosu ball or something?
Guarantee if I did, I'd still be doing it. So I don't remember.
Well, getting back to this issue that my buddy has, his daughter is dating dudes that he doesn't like. That really has a problem with the guys, and it's not just one guy. It's a series. It's a certain type of guy
She's
that
a type.
a type, and he's like, I don't like this at all, and he's like, I don't know how to talk. I've tried talking to her about it, and she says she's just hanging out, and he's like, look, man, I know these bars you're hanging out in, and these clubs.
Yeah.
I've been around too, and I know what happens in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you had to deal with that, JB, with your daughter? Our daughter's only 15, so we're not even close to this yet.
Yeah. Well, it's an unfortunate fact of life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we've had to deal with it. Our daughter's 23 now. And so it's funny too, because she's almost at the age, like maybe another year, give or take, of like the age where her mom and I met.
Yeah.
And so
really,
isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah.
And so here's what it's definitely something that comes better from mom. However, it's no secret that typically women are younger, they gravitate to the bad boys.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great.
And it's like you got to get it out of your system.
Yeah.
And then when they're mature enough, then they find the nice guy, right? And settle down. So like the nice guys get crapped on for a long time, but then the women come around. You know, my wife was dating a real controlling jerk when we met.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
I was dating this really hot flight attendant. It was sweet as can be. I'm kidding.
Sweet.
but anyhow, I'm kidding. But you know, it's something they unfortunately kind of have to get out of their system. You kind of got the best of both worlds with Sandy. He was a bad boy when you met, and then he flipped entirely.
In my 30s, I got to relive my fantasy of the bad boy. And I got the bad boy and married, and then you morphed into you're the nice guy now. The nice, dependable guy. I did get both.
And I won't push back that I was I put it this way. I know for a fact that I was the guy that a lot of girls' dads didn't want them to date. I know that. And
beyond that, you were the guy that a lot of your friends' wives did not want their husbands hanging out with.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it lasted longer, I think, than normal.
So yeah,
that.
You make a good point, Sandy. And and I'll say that I fell on the bad boy side just because I was kind of wild. I wasn't mean. I was sweet, but just kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you even said it. You knew that the dads didn't want you around.
Right.
So there is that. Like, I know I have done that with guys that my daughter has brought around. Like, you don't like them, so you hardly talk to them.
You'd let them know. Yeah.
They pick up on that. And I think because of that, some just kind of naturally went away. Like, oh, your dad doesn't like me.
Well, that happened to me. Yeah. I mean, it happened 2 times. One time, the girl told me, I was dating this girl, and she was a Jewish girl, and her parents did not like that I was not Jewish. Okay, whatever. So she told me that my parents don't want me to date you anymore because you're not Jewish. I'm, okay, move on. This other girl that I dated, she was great. Her name was Susie, and she was the youngest and had a brother that was about 6 years older than me and was a mountain of a man. and her dad, who was a cop. And he one day he was super cool. Pete, and her brother's name was Dave. We were sitting out in the driveway once, and I was waiting for Susie to get there or something. And Pete was like, you know, Sandy, I don't really think that you and Susie ought to really be together anymore. I don't think this is probably good for you. Probably not good. And I got the message. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice way of him saying, get lost.
I've had enough of you, and I've decided that it's over.
And this giant human sitting next to me will rip your arms off if you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got the message, you know?
But the point is, your friend can send out the vibe, and they will pick up on it.
Yeah.
There was in early 20s, there was someone I dated, and her parents they loved the ex-boyfriend.
Oh, no, that's hard.
No.
And so they didn't speak to me, and the ex-boyfriend would still come around and hang out with them and play golf with them and all this stuff.
Oh, really?
Well, guess what? That's who she ended up getting married to. So,
Really?
The parents do have a little control.
But the parents were squeezing me out big time. I'm like, okay, I get the message.
Yeah.
I dated a guy when I was 19 who my mom did not like. He kind of had a little bit of the longer hair. You could hear him coming way at the end of the street because he played his music so loud and his bass so loud. And I just couldn't understand why she didn't like him. And not too long ago, Sandy, we were talking about Landry's getting close to dating age. And I told Landry, I said, I'll tell you this. If a boy pulls up to our house and I can hear his engine revving or I can hear his bass playing down the street, it's not somebody you're going out with. And in that moment, I was like, oh, that's why my mom didn't like that guy. Like, I just said to her I wouldn't allow was what I was doing with that guy back when I was 19.
God, I never thought about that. I had loud muscle cars, and the stereo was everything.
Yeah, that was back when you would buy giant bass speakers and install them yourself, like under the seat, and just see how loud you could play them.
Yeah.
There's a video that I saw. I don't know what movie it's from, but it's 50 Cent and he's married in the movie, the character, and his daughter is going to prom, and the guy shows up, and he's a nice guy. He's got this little tuxedo on and stuff, and he's got the corsage and gives it to 50 Cent's daughter. And then 50 says, "Hey, let me holler at you for a minute." And he takes him out, walks him out to the garage. Yeah. He opens up. Have you seen it, Trish?
I have. It's
He
awesome.
He opens up the garage, and inside the garage are all his buddies that are just a bunch of meathead looking guys that can do some damage, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to his daughter, he goes, "Hey, man, for 16 years, my number one job has been to protect her. And I'm trusting you with that. So if you don't, whatever happens to her is going to happen to you." And he's like,
And none of those
"Ooh."
guys in the garage said a word. They just stood there.
Yeah. And they just stood there. And I was like, wow, that's aggressive. But he got his message across, right?
Right.
Love it. So
You've said that you're going to, when Lander goes out on her first date, you're going to have her godfather, come over.
Yep.
All of her friend, your friends, your big guy friends, and just have them just sitting there.
I'm going to have
in
the Austin
driveway.
Huns rugby team in the garage
Yeah.
waiting to have a word.
Not saying
Just
anything. Just
answer
make
the door with no shirt on, just to make things uncomfortable right from the start. Like just right away. Just awkward.
Need extra cash in your life?
The $1,000 payday is back this morning at 9. 103.1, Austin's 80s station.
Well, that's it. Do us a solid and copy and paste the link to this episode and send it to a friend or two. Thanks for listening.